Hi everyone, my name is Arish and I'm from Team 14481 and today we have Mechanical Paradox with us.
Hi, I'm Cece. I'm the lead software person and the head of strategy.
Hi,
I'm
I'm
sure.
Celine. I'm on the software team and the head for CAD assemblies.
I'm Siobhan. I'm the lead for hardware.
Yep, and today we're going to be getting a deep dive into what Mechanical Paradox really does on their team, breaking down all the different aspects such as how they kind of strategize, what they do for design, getting a little bit into what they kind of structure, how they structure their outreach, as well as some of their business plan. So thank you so much for joining us today. Um, Hopefully a lot of new rookie teams can learn from this because I know personally you guys are a very experienced team. And with that being said, let's jump right in. Okay, so our first question is, can you talk about what you guys do on the team as like a little bit more in detail and like how you guys did during the Skystone season?
So on the team, I work on the software. So last year I was the only software person, so I wrote all of our code. But this year we've got a couple more people on the software team, which is awesome. And so what I do is I basically am teaching them about the code and I help manage anything that's software based. And so if we have other team members who are writing it, I'll be helping them work on it, or I'll write it. And so I'm kind of the leader in that. And in terms of being the head of strategy, I come up with a lot of the different strategy ideas, and I work at in like competitions. I'll be the ones who's sitting there looking at the other robots, figuring out what we should be doing to play against them and
Awesome.
maximize our strategy.
Cool, cool. Yeah, can you guys touch a bit on like how you guys did during the Skystone season? I know you guys had an awesome robot, full of different compliant wheels, and that like slide, the number of stages you had on that slide was also crazy. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so in the Skystone season, we made it to Virginia States, and we were second in the division, and division finalist captain. And we won first or second think in terms of robot at every competition we attended, so we were pretty pleased with that. Um, yeah, we that's a brief summary of it. But we had a lift that reached up to, I if I'm remembering correctly, it was 70 something inches. It was tall.
Damn.
Whatever it was taller than me. So
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. And I know you guys have performed like amazing in the past as well. Remember Ruckus, you were like MTI finalist as well as um, you were world finalist for I think what 2 3 years in a row. So that's also pretty amazing. All right, cool. So let's jump right into some of the stuff for the notebook. So can you guys talk about like your design process and kind of how you structure that specific section?
Yeah, so for our design process, we believe in CADing our entire robot before we build it. We like our robot to be cohesive and make sure that all the parts have seamless transitions rather than treating everything as individual mechanisms.
Yeah.
Designing in CAD means that when we actually build the robot, we have the added benefit of the building process being faster because issues and flaws have already been resolved. And then in terms of our design section, we outlay some of our design process, and then we use a combination of things like drawings, tables, CAD models, and definitely lots of photos, as well as written explanations to depict each stage of the process and the growth of a robot throughout the season. So it will typically include multiple iterations of not only our full robot, but also of all of the individual mechanisms as well.
That's a really detailed process. CADing beforehand is definitely a good idea. I know, talking from experience, our team, at least like our first rookie season, we didn't even know what CAD was because that was our rookie season and we were just kind of getting into FTC. But like after figuring out CAD, especially last year, it's helped us tremendously, and I'm sure a lot of rookie teams can benefit of by picking that skill up early. So that's definitely
Yeah.
something that's really important, I think, as well. Yeah. So now that the game is out, could you talk a bit more about what you would tell rookies and like how they can kind of strategize and prioritize different mechanisms or different strategies this year?
Yeah, for sure. So to start, before you get into any building, read both game manuals, part 1 and part 2, to make sure you understand all the rules and how the game will work. Then list out all the tasks that the robot should have to score at the maximum possible points, like have a shooter, have an intake to get the rings in there, have a wobble grabber, etc. Look at these tasks and start identifying which are essential to be competitive, such as, the drivetrain. It's a very basic thing for you to have. These are the ones you'll want to focus on first. Looking at the rest of the functions, identify the ones that will take you the most time to build, the ones that will have the most potential for success, and the ones that will score the most points. Factoring in for all these, pick one or two mechanisms to prioritize. For example, if you have the means and meeting time to make a shooter, it may be worth prioritizing as it can give you several points. However, if you don't have time, it might be better to prioritize a mechanism to score the wobble goal. Before you start, it's important to have a plan. Try to set goals and dates to complete those goals by, and when you do this, give yourself enough time to have driver practice before competitions, program the robot, and then have a little wiggle room in between each thing in case you have to push back deadlines. It's important to keep your timeline in mind as you build so you don't have to run out of time to complete your robot before competing.
Drive practice, oh my god, that's something that's also super important. I know this has
For
been
sure.
emphasized in some of the past videos, but along with the great plan that you guys just outlined, like I would also highly stress drivers practice because even even if you don't have like the best robot, you can still do really good if you have really good drivers practice. So I think that's also something that's definitely important. All right, awesome. Could you talk a bit more about the outreach section and kind of how, like, what's your thinking behind that?
Yeah, so obviously this year things are running a little bit different since most of our events are going to be held virtually, but the basics of outreach have remained the same. So we break our outreach up into three parts. We have outreach within the first community, outreach within the STEM community, and outreach within the general community. For events that are within the first community, we tend to teach virtual classes, and we've been creating videos to share knowledge that we've gained through our time on the team with with rookies via our YouTube channel. We when we've been doing things within the STEM community, we meet with professionals, tour companies, and attend lectures to educate ourselves about STEM careers. Generally, we'll focus on topics that we as members are more interested in, as it's an opportunity for us to explore our passions. Additionally, we usually open these STEM talks and events to other teams and members of the general community, as it's a wonderful learning opportunity for everyone. The advantage to virtual events is that we're able to get in contact with companies that are farther from home and talk with the professionals who don't live nearby, which has been a lot of fun. For the general community, we've been working to arrange events that spark interest in STEM for school-aged individuals. Normally, this would include presentations at various fairs, festivals, and community events where we set up a booth and provide demos for attendees. Now that we can't do those, we've turned to more presentations to specific groups, such as schools or Girl Scouts, and we've also coordinated STEM challenges for students to complete.
That's awesome. Wow, that's a lot to take in. That's really good. I kind of like how you broke that up into different sections. I think that's also pretty cool to keep in mind because I know what tends to happen a lot of times is that teams would just be like, yeah, it's outreach. We do outreach. But I kind of agree with what you guys said, and like thinking about outreach in a way where you can break it up into these different sections can definitely help you in both like organization as well as making sure that you kind of have a sense of like what type of outreach you're doing. Oh, also, I didn't ask this before, but are you guys like a school team or a community-based team?
We're a 4-H team. We're in Howard County, Maryland, and we run out of our 4-H club.
That's
Which,
really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, all of us are homeschooled.
Yeah, we are all homeschooled.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought you guys were a school team, but that's good to know.
Yeah, no, we've had some public school members in the past, but right now we are entirely homeschooled.
Yeah, homeschool definitely has some really cool benefits. Um, yeah, because I know Jack from 9971, and I know a few other people who in FTC or homeschool. You can I think personally the biggest advantage to that is you can give a lot more time to stuff you really like to do, even if it's not robotics. So,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
but for a lot of people it is robotics, so that's really cool. All right, yeah. Can you touch upon some of the aspects of your business plan? Kind of your thinking behind that as well.
Yeah. So our team business plan touches upon 5 major categories.
Mm-hmm.
Our first section is the team overview and history section, which basically outlines our mission and impact within the community, as well as some of the growth and experiences our team has gained over the years. The next category is our team management section, which explains how our team is organized, how we designate roles and work between members, and make sure that tasks are completed in a timely manner. Then we have our sponsorship section, which outlines our relationship with sponsors, what we do for our sponsors in return for their sponsorship, and also lists out our current sponsors and in what way they sponsor us, whether it be through monetary grants, part donations, mentorship, or something else. We also have a team finances section, which outlines expected expenses, which generally come from registration fees and buying parts. It also covers the expected income from our team, which comes from grants, fundraising, family contributions, and any awards won at off-season competitions like the MTI. Our final main section covers our sustainability plan, which is where we talk about recruitment and making sure that our team continues on as members graduate. We also cover how we keep and gain new mentors through alumni members and through our partnership with sponsors, as well as lay out our expectations for any potential new recruits. This section is extremely important to judges because they want to see that teams have long-term goals and plans and that they won't fizzle out after a couple of years.
Yeah, that's completely true. So I know you guys talked about like how you have the team finances section. So like for that, do you guys also have like an inventory for parts? Like, does that kind of like factor into your team finances?
It definitely factors into our finances. I'm not sure that we've actually included the entire inventory into our business plan
I
because
see.
you kind of write it before you actually buy all the parts. So we
Yeah.
just make an estimation of what the expenses would be.
Yeah, that's extremely similar to what we do as well. At least this year. Last year, we changed our drivetrain motors like 3 times. That was not good for finances, but we kind of have like a projection that we follow for that, where we kind of see these are the parts we know we absolutely need, um, and that goes directly into our finances, if not the business plan. So yeah, extremely similar to what you guys said. All right, and to close off, what are some tips you guys would give rookies this season, especially considering like coronavirus, virtual events, not so great time for fundraising, stuff like that?
Yeah. The major thing is definitely don't be afraid to ask questions. Like your mentors are here to help you, and most of the teams will be very happy to provide assistance if you'd like. Feel free to reach out to teams by emailing or messaging through any platform that they present on, like email, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, etc. All those things you can reach out to teams and get assistance. And there's so many teams who are 100% willing to help you out. And don't throw away ideas before giving them some thought. Even the worst ideas can lead to brilliant designs. Trust me on this one. Brainstorming is about laying everything out on the table. So even if there are some ones that you know you probably won't do for your robot, they are still options that you want to have on the table. And remember, you'll only get out what you put onto the robot. When you're working as uh, out a plan as a team, keep in mind that you need to dedicate time to making your goals happen. So you definitely need time to CAD everything, test things, make things, test them again, and obviously have driver practice before competitions. Like I know a lot of teams may or may not have time for, but it's definitely something that's really important to have is just time after and before these things.
For sure, for sure. All right. Thank you so much, guys. You can follow Mechanical Paradox on YouTube. And their YouTube channel, as I mentioned, have some great tutorials that you can follow along. I think it was like an hour back I saw the one on the plastic chain. That one's pretty cool. And you can also follow them on Insta, as well as their Gmail, which is mechanicalparadox7182@gmail.com. And you can email them if you have any questions or want to know more about their team. You can follow our team at FTC Don't Blink on Instagram, as well as the YouTube channel that this is being posted to, obviously. So leave a like if you thought this video was helpful. You can also join the FTC Files Discord server. The link is up on the screen right now. And that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you so much, guys. This has been great. I've learned a lot. And we'll see you for the next episode. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.